Okay. We're live. What's up, Don?
What is going on?
How was your week?
It was another long one, but it flew by at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week sucked,
Yeah.
actually.
Weather sucked.
I got we have my other business partner from Trifecta, Josh Franks, on today. And he came up. We have a little apartment downtown. He stays up here, a couple times a month. And Tuesday night, I think you got here on Wednesday, right? Thursday. Yeah. What night did it was Wednesday night. Yeah.
Holy.
This kid stole my phone and threw it out his second floor apartment when we tracked his ass down. Son of a bitch. We might shout a name out tonight for that one.
At least Richie got $20 out of him.
Yeah, well. I won't say nothing, but I won at pool that night too.
I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and started driving up here, and I saw you were sending me emails at 4:30. I was like, well, I don't know. I'm probably going to see him until a little later.
I couldn't communicate any other way, So we're going to do this bourbon and cigar pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we have a bourbon that is pretty readily available. And Don will get into that before we get into the cigar. The cigar is a little more elusive, I guess you could say, but should complement it pretty good, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got, Don?
Yeah, I'm just checking now on what the availability actually is. So, yeah, fairly readily available. Also, depending where you're at, it's going to be different. So we are drinking Bulleit Bourbon's Single Barrel.
I'll pull it up.
This is a single barrel that was selected by Fine Wine and Good Spirits stores. So you obviously have to go to one of those stores to get it. But other stores in other states have the ability to go down there and select barrels with Bulleit. So you can get single barrels, but you can't get this barrel unless you went for it. So this one is almost sold out. It's available in a few counties right now, but I'm getting to the end of it, so they'll probably pick another one soon. But it's coming in at 104 proof. It does not have an age statement on it. The barrel number is 2-E4-0892. But it's not really decipherable for when it was distilled, but really no information on this. So if you're a fan of Bulleit Bourbon, you're probably going to like this as a little bit of an upgrade. I'm going to read the seal.
I haven't tried this. Have you tried this one?
No, I haven't, honestly.
Josh, do you get into drinking bourbons at all in Philly?
On occasion, not too often, but I'll tell you what, on a snowy day.
This is going to warm us up at 104, I'll tell you that.
In Center City, you got a little place called Village Whiskey. Voted one of the best whiskey bars in the world at one point in time.
Oh, yeah? Village Whiskey. Have you been there?
Yeah, we just went a few weeks ago. We were down in Center City.
What'd you think?
I had a good time. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be, like every bar in Philadelphia is. It's right down from Dandelion, if you've been there. Had a great time. Had an old Overholt 11-year-old, which they only put out one time, and I've only ever found at one other bar, which happens to be up here at DeSalvo's in Williamsport.
What was it?
The Overholt 11.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Really good stuff.
So, Josh, if you didn't know, Don is from the Philadelphia area as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, born
Montgomery
and raised.
County.
Montgomery County, a little further north.
I went to Souderton.
I graduated from Charleston.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, man.
Wait, you guys graduated from the same school?
You must be who I was talking to about this. I think you were telling me where your parents' house is, or your mom's house.
Oh, yeah.
Little farmhouse on Schoolhouse Road?
Just off Schoolhouse Road.
Yep. I grew up on Schoolhouse Road.
You grew up on Schoolhouse?
I've been looking for you.
Shut
I
the
met
hell
you a
up.
couple years ago. I met you like 3 or 4 years ago.
Get the hell out of here.
I've been looking for you. I was like, who was that in the car that night? We were drinking a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
That's fantastic.
Wait, how old are you, Don?
I'm 30.
30.
31.
Right,
I just turned 31.
You're a little younger than us.
Yeah, I was class of 94. So you were in a new school building.
Yeah, I was the first senior class from the new school.
Okay. Yeah, that was right around the corner from where I grew up.
Right,
Like
yeah.
right across the field.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's smell this bourbon. See if it has the old schoolhouse smell.
Yeah.
Oh, this smells nice.
It smells super light, I
Like
think.
fruity almost. I can smell like
Fruity.
a pineapple almost.
Yep. It's got some of those tropical characters that we're finding more and more common that we didn't think you should find in whiskey, but we're finding out we like them.
Wow.
And I'm getting like a honey blossom, like an orange blossom honey.
Yeah, I can
I
smell
like it.
the orange blossom.
Mhm.
It smells delicious.
This has a real nice, sweet, floral
Yep.
aroma to it. Like, yeah, totally. Honey blossom pine. I smell a little pineapple though.
Mhm.
It almost reminds me of like some of those finer Japanese whiskeys.
Right. I was gonna say this doesn't smell like bourbon.
Yeah.
I was almost gonna say mead, like a nice orange blossom mead. Like I'm getting a lot of
it's
honey
got a very
character.
floral note to it
Yep.
for sure.
Not a lot of ethanol in the nose, and we just
No.
cracked this bottle open.
Woodsy and floral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely woodsy. I don't know what the like I said, it's not age stated. It might just be 4. I mean, judging by the color, but it smells oaky.
Well, I don't even. It's not as oaky as some of the
Mhm.
past couple that we've had though. Like
We've
this
had
is
some old ones.
Yeah, this is a real mild smelling 104.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I think it's gonna have a lot of bite though
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. Like it doesn't smell it, but
Yeah.
I think it's gonna kick our asses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this smells good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, that light oak comes through. You don't get a lot of honey on the palate, right? But there's something like dark and tropical, not like a bright pineapple in the character, but something.
You know, it's
Can't put my
funny
finger
too.
on.
It's really wild how like it's a little peppery on the tongue,
Mhm.
but when you drink it down, it loses some of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as harsh going down. You know, it's not as
Mhm.
peppery.
It
pretty
doesn't have
wild.
a severe bite.
Yeah.
It's a
Mm-mm.
smooth.
It's real smooth.
If you told me
Yeah.
this was 80 proof, like the Basil Hayden, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
The second sip going in, I kind of get a little hint of vanilla almost.
Mhm. I was gonna say on the
It's
nose,
still-
the pepper is accentuated.
Yeah. It's not bad. So we have this at the bar on market right now.
Mhm.
Excuse me. So there's not too much left in any of the stores. Is there any left in Williamsport?
No,
Okay.
there's only a couple bottles down in Montgomery, Philly, and Bucks. I think was the other
Yeah.
county.
So we stocked up on this a little bit
Mhm.
with anticipation that it was going to be a good one,
Mhm.
and it's pretty good.
Mhm.
It's a nice sipper at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely had to have this in stock.
I think on that hang tag, they correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they named it the Pennsylvania. So I have to imagine this is the first one Fine Wines has done with Bulleit. I know they'll be back down there to do more.
The Pennsylvania, yeah. That's pretty wild too.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
They did this specific barrel, this launch for the Pennsylvania fine spirits, fine wine and spirits stores,
The state stores.
the state stores. Yeah. So this is only found in PA.
Wow.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania has some buyers and expert tasters who go down, and they'll taste through maybe 8 barrels at Bulleit, and they'll pick their favorite and get that whole barrel bottled up and sent up.
That's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, let's go right into it tonight. You know, it's a lousy night out there. It's snowing, it's sleet, and it's raining. It's freaking horrible. So who did we get these? We got these, and what was the other one for Jacob Yoas? And we did the Jacob's Pardon.
Mm-hmm.
So it was between the Romeo and Juliet or the
Had the bull on it.
Yeah, what was that? Which
You
turned
must
out to be
have
a real nice cigar.
Mm.
And I have to figure it out. Fuerte Libre. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Had the little emblem logo that looked like the heartstrings.
Yep.
Josh is not necessarily used to smoking cigars unless it's just a wrapper and something else is rolled up inside. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What's your hoodie, sir?
A little bit of fatties going on there. Philly style. We got the Romeo and Julieta 1875 Reserve that we're going to pair up with this tonight. And it's a little darker of a Romeo than what you usually see. And it's not as easy to come across in some of the other cigars that we've had. But there's some in the stores right now, so that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. You had a Romeo a couple weeks ago that I think was a little bit more introductory level, and you really liked that one.
What was that one?
Might have even been a reserve, but it wasn't the Toro.
No. So this one I expect it to be a little have a little more full body, even though it's a mild, kind of a medium of the middle of the road type cigar, but I would say it's going to have a little more kick to it and should complement the Bulleit pretty good. Josh, I'm going to light this up for you. There you go. Bring it over here. Hear that one crackling.
I heard that one, yeah.
It's actually pretty mild. A lot more mild than I thought it would be. Yeah. Not a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Not like some of the last couple that we had that just had so much flavor to the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is really
well, that's going to be a good thing paired with a surprisingly light bourbon here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't smell really any one particular note or flavor or even smoke out of this one yet.
Yeah, it's just a pretty smooth, mild cigar.
It is. It's got a little bite though. It's got there's a little nicotine hit to it there.
Yeah. Let's see how it tastes with the Bulleit. Send the Bulleit down. Oh wow. Okay, so listen. It really pulls out some flavor out of that bourbon. Some stuff I didn't really taste earlier. you kind of taste a little bit of kind of a sweet bitter type something on the back of your tongue after you're smoking the cigar and then tasting the bourbon with it. It's not offensive by any sense. It's just the word that came to mind when I took that sip after smoking, for whatever fucking reason, was canoe. Did that come to your mind, Josh?
No.
I'm shocked.
I can't believe it either. No, you know what? Kind of like almost a creamy taste, right? Like a
As I'm getting back in, I'm getting almost lemongrassy, like a little bit herbal, like a little almost bitter on the back of the tongue, like you said. But there's more of a bright herbal thing up front for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely tasting
Canoes.
Am I on something?
Perhaps. I mean, the creaminess that you described, I can kind of relate to. It's got almost like you just took a sip of a Guinness or something like that. Like there's like a
yeah. Dude, this would be a great Guinness cigar, to be honest with you. Holy shit. Should we have him pour us up some Guinnesses?
I mean, maybe. Can you Uber Eats us?
What's that?
Get Uber Eats.
We might be able
deliver
to.
The Guinness.
We get one of the girls to bring it up for sure. No, I think it's definitely pretty interesting. It's definitely got that taste, and I can't really quite put my finger on it. Kind of like man, I don't know what else to think of. Keep on thinking of a silky, like something. I'm thinking of something like a milkweed almost. You know what I mean? It's like a milkweed.
Yep.
It's kind of like this earthy, you're right, earthy and creamy kind of taste.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the milkweed reference. It's got a smooth, silky feel to it. The combination of the cigar.
It does. Yeah. It's like milkweed growing on a canoe, a hand-carved canoe.
That's interesting. I mean, this is a lighter bourbon. I mean, to be honest, but Maker's Mark has been investing a lot of money and time and product into research with fatty acids. You know, if you non-chill filter your bourbon, which most of the respectable houses, they don't chill filter their bourbon, so you keep, and they don't charcoal filter, a lot of them. You keep these long chain fatty acids that stick around inside the liquid.
From the barrels?
I think from the barrels and a lot from the grains, if I'm not mistaken. They were going into a lot of the science, but and that creates this just really full mouthfeel because those molecule chains are so long, and you're almost getting that buttery, creamy, syrupy character out of them. You know, I wonder if this has anything to do with that, with the cream that you're not getting out of there.
It's interesting, Don. Definitely interesting. Josh, what did we work on before when we were talking about the long chain molecules? They were the polymers, right, that we were dealing with?
Well,
back in the day, like 2010, 2012.
That we were working on trying to create some polymers that were cross-linked that made them really long. But long-chain fatty acids is a little bit of a different concept. Long-chain fatty acids would be like what, vegetable oils and things like that are made out of. Those are long-chain fatty acids, and they can be saturated or unsaturated. And I could see there being some of those in the grain.
Interesting. Josh is I guess for lack of a better word, and this is the truth. a chemist by lesson, I guess you could say, and not necessarily by degree, but knows a lot about chemistry, period. And is the brain behind a lot of products that we sell and that we make and that we, have and use and everything else. And it's pretty wild to see everything that Josh does.
Thanks.
But enough about that. Let's hear a juicy fucking Philadelphia story. That's what we want to hear.
I'm gonna give you a juicy Philadelphia story.
Something gritty.
Let's get one like pre-marriage and kids, like something crazy in Philly.
Good Lord. I have a little situation with a dog I have to attend to real quick though.
Oh shit! Okay.
So I apologize. You have to wait on my
That's
juicy
good.
story for just a moment.
Well, wait a minute. That's it.
I'll be back to you.
Which dog was it?
Still trying to go out apparently. No. I'll be right back.
Well, Anthony's got a new story from Monday night down at the bridge.
Monday at the bridge.
Or was that Tuesday?
What happened?
Early this week. Anthony called Uber Eats out to the restaurant.
So listen, we got to get this straight. What happened was we went to the bridge to eat, and Don got, what was it? Tacos.
Yep.
It was Tuesday night. Richie
Must be
Johnson.
Tuesday.
It was his last night
Mhm.
managing the Bridge Tavern, and Don's like, "I want some black olives." And I don't know what it is, but people don't have black olives
Yep.
anymore. Like that's a staple for Mexican food, isn't it?
I thought so.
Listen, correct me if I'm wrong. Like anybody, I don't care who it is. Black olives always went on my tacos.
Mhm.
Always went on my quesadilla. Nothing but chicken, cheese, and black olives,
Mhm.
right? Motherfucker, nobody has them anymore. Like they don't even use them to cook at any restaurant.
Yeah.
So Don wanted black olives. So I got on Instacart and I
That's what it was,
Instacarted
Instacart.
1 can of black olives for Don. And it said, you did not hit your minimum. So then I ended up getting paper plates because Sabrina needed paper plates. They
Yep.
still didn't hit the minimum.
Yep.
What was the third thing?
needed
Oh, butter. I needed butter.
Mhm.
So I got 4 sticks of butter,
Mhm.
a bag of plastic paper plates,
Mhm.
and your black olives
Yeah.
delivered to the bridge.
They got there right after the tacos got to the table.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Richie opened them up, sliced them up for me.
Yeah. Speaking of Richie, he was supposed to be on here a couple of times already, and he hasn't been on yet, but we're going to get him on. We should maybe try to dial somebody in here. Think we could do that?
Maybe. Maybe it'd be fun.
There's a way to add somebody, but we've never tried it before.
No. We'll figure that out.
Should we try it now or wait?
Let me see.
So I have another story too, Don.
Mm-hmm.
So this week started on Monday with Lowe's delivering 44 sheets of drywall to the new bar. And the delivery guy, oh, you can put those on right there.
Yep.
The delivery guy rode over my aluminum doors that go into the basement of the bar and totally broke the welds, messed them all up. It's curved. It looked like a crescent moon. It was ridiculous. And I still haven't even gotten an apology call.
Or insurance.
Or insurance. I don't know if we can.
I can message it to somebody on Facebook.
Can we get somebody in on that though? Like video and everything.
Potentially. Let me invite myself. Let's see what happens.
Oh boy. I hope there's not too many people watching right now. We're sorry to bore you tonight. It's gonna be kind of like a test night.
Yeah.
It is pretty lousy weather out there.
Like I said, it's a good whiskey night. We can totally do it. Me right here.
Who should we see about dialing in here? Wait, was the video coming up too? Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can put us side by side.
Let's how did you do it? Just through Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
We should try to get Richie Johnson on here. I don't have my phone, so I can't give him a heads up or anything, but he might just be up at Haywood's slinging it. He might have some of this bullet to try. Hmm?
That's possible. He's got some good stuff up there. He very well could have this bottle.
Can we hear him on here?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
If he accepts.
Are you dialing him now?
Yeah.
Richie, answer your phone. He might be cooking. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's 10. This could be like the I don't even know what time it is. So he didn't answer.
No.
What a bum. This cigar is pretty nice.
Yeah. Just sitting here, it's really, like you said, it's really light, really mild.
You about ready for another sip?
That's why I came back over.
Okay, so this is
I was talking to Amber about this. The Bulleit people seem to be like Michelob Ultra people. They order the Bulleit. They order it the way they like it, whether it's on ice, whether it's in a Manhattan Old Fashioned, whatever. And that's what they go for. And you can offer them something else, and they don't really change it up too much. You see a black label on Bulleit, or you see the 10-year Bulleit, and I think a lot of the loyal fans are like, nope, I'm really good with the product they put out all the time. I'll have that. But
super interesting.
But this, I think this is really, really good. I mean, I know Bulleit bourbon is a good shot whiskey if you're going to have one.
Yeah.
But this stuff, I mean, I think I put this a hair above. I do really like what the single barrel brings to this. And I can't put my finger on what's different about it, but I really like what is different about it.
It's so interesting that you say about, those people that have it and it's their go-to. And when I do my old fashions, it's Bulleit rye.
Yep.
That's it.
Like anything
the
else.
Bulleit rye just makes that old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got and this has a very unique taste, right? Mm-hmm. It's something that on the palate, we haven't tasted before. And I can see how somebody could be like, all I want is Bulleit. Now, whether it's this or the regular Bulleit, which regular Bulleit's only like $30 a bottle, right?
Yep.
At 27, maybe even. The rye might be like 32. But
you go out to the bar, you can have a couple rounds of drinks for really great price.
Yeah, for sure. This is pretty good though. I'm not mad at this. Not mad at it.
I've had the 10-year only a handful of times, but I know I like that too. The
10-year is not that bad. The 10-year, if I remember correctly, it's pretty sweet as well.
Yeah.
I think it's more like got those maple notes and just really mellowed out. This definitely hits you a little harder when you first bring it in. So we want, and I'm sure like a lot of the people that were watching probably turned it off by now, and maybe some people are coming on right now. But we want you guys to like our YouTube channel, which is MFA Bourbon Cigar Weekend Pairing, something like that, and the Facebook page. And then we're gonna get into a couple other things here coming up. But we're getting ready. We're finishing up downstairs, right? We got the drywall up.
Yep, looks good.
We're ready to finish the drywall. We're gonna work on the bar next, which the bar is gonna be lit, dude. It's gonna be something nobody has seen in this town before. I know of one other place, not that we got the concept from there at all. Their bar isn't like ours is going to be, but the concept around the bar was kind of similar, right? But not at all. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it finished up and full of people.
Yeah, full of people. Cheers to that.
I'm excited to see. I think the logistics of service are going to work really, really well. I'm just excited to watch it happen.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to add a lot more to the weekends in downtown Williamsport, especially.
Yeah. More things to do.
People love coming to the bar, seeing the music, dancing, having a good time. Now it's going to be twice the space. It's going to be pretty cool. Should be nice.
Be at the beginning of the revitalization down here.
For sure.
Yeah. So as this opens up, you said maple, and I'm getting like this fleeting little bit of maple in the front middle of the palate, and then it's like quickly swapping out for, I don't want to say green apple or pear, but like something in that realm.
Interesting. I mean, I definitely I hear the maple. I really feel it's more like on the vanilla-y side, though. Vanilla-y side.
Vanilla-ish.
Vanilla-ish. Vanilla-y.
And as like I clear my throat, I like that fleeting bright maple pear is like right there.
Yeah, I can taste the pear. I like that. How's the dog? How's the bitch?
She's a bitch. Yeah.
Danny, that was not a reference towards you, just so that we're clear. I don't want your girlfriend beating my ass,
She taking care of the grands.
Push down on the tier part. Yeah, down further.
Lower.
Oh gosh, show me.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that. Okay.
Yeah, it's fancy shit. So wait, what is that? Is that Romeo and Juliet?
It is.
Is the Reserve 1875 in there?
So it's funny. There's a Reserva Real, which is not what you're smoking. The next page is 1875 Nicaragua, which is also not what you're smoking. It's like a combination of the two. Here it is. Guess what Romeo and Julieta thinks that you should pair with this cigar?
I am gonna totally say Guinness.
Josh, your guess?
I mean, Guinness don't sound too far off. I could appreciate a Guinness with this cigar.
Well, it's Guinness.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah, it is.
Are you fucking serious, Don?
Yeah. Totally.
Would you? Look at that.
Yo, this is no joke.
That's some cred.
None of us saw that. We have had this thing sitting here since we moved up to here. And before that, it was in my backpack for like fucking 5 weeks. We just opened it and we just said how good this would taste with Guinness.
Yep.
That blows my mind. This is no joke.
Yeah. It's funny. It's, as far as beer, they say a stout like Guinness. And as far as a spirit, they say Scotch whiskey, which is, I think a lot of people think a lot lighter, fruitier, or definitely herbaceous than bourbon. And this is kind of where that Bulleit leans. That's pretty cool.
If I would have known this, we would have totally had Guinness. We could get some Guinnesses up here. Should we get a couple Guinnesses?
We should go down and get it.
Let's see if Sabrina will bring a couple up. Don, you have your phone?
I do.
let's just call her. Dial her
Put her
in.
on speaker.
Yeah.
See if she picks up.
She's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you guys calling me for?" I can't believe it's paired with Guinness.
Why not? I can believe it.
Hey, Sabrina. Maybe we should call the bar.
Jay will pick up.
Oh, we should just call Jay. Yeah, just call Jay. He'll totally pick up. This cigar is getting nicer as we get through it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a nice, mellow, smooth taste, creamy. Oh, are you kidding me?
Must be busy.
If I only had a phone. Hey, Jay. Are you busy?
A little bit. But what's up?
Can you bring us up 3 Guinnesses?
Guinnesses?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're live on the air.
you're live on air too.
Oh no.
We love you.
All right.
Bye.
That's so funny.
I can't wait to try the Guinness, dude. I seriously can't believe that's paired with a Guinness.
Yeah.
And we didn't even check this with Jacob when he was up here because he didn't pick the Romeo.
Right.
He picked the
The Fuente
Fuente.
Libre, which I don't know if it's in there. I haven't looked totally through it.
it's not
funny,
in here.
It's funny how they name these things because they're all mashed together and mixed and matched, and the year keeps coming back up. Reserva keeps coming back up. They're all a little different.
So this is funny. It does say it has tasting notes of walnut, spice, molasses, and vanilla, the cigar. And truth be told, we've had a few others that definitely tasted more like all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Where was this leaf grown?
And this is Nicaragua. And this is rated a 90 too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a solid rating on it.
Mhm.
I don't taste any molasses in this cigar. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that. I don't see that note at all.
But walnut is interesting. I almost get a hint of when the fruit breaks off of the black walnuts, and you kind of get that musty character. I almost get that in the smoke.
I definitely get that in the smoke. And maybe a little bit of the spice. I'm having a tough time. I'll tell you what. I keep on saying vanilla though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it says vanilla.
Mhm.
And I think maybe that's coming more from the cigar. And after I taste the bourbon, then
Yep.
it's pulling that out from the cigar maybe more than the bourbon.
Yeah.
Because you're not tasting the vanilla as much
I'm
as I
not.
am.
No, totally. I'm definitely not. With a Guinness, I think that Guinness might pull it out of the bourbon a little bit, but I think it's definitely going to pull it out of the cigar.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. I mean, after reading this, how about what does that say? Elderflower?
Elderflower.
Is that elderflower or
Or
elderberry?
elderberry.
Elderflower.
Elderflower. What do you smell? Do you have that aroma, Don?
I don't smell any one thing in particular, but after you said walnut, I'm getting that. But it's not walnuts; it's walnut fruit.
Yeah.
Oh, that you're getting. Yeah.
And I kind of get that too now that I'm sitting here
Mm-hmm.
after reading it. The vanilla is funny though.
Right.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. And that's usually the most prominent character you get pulling out of your bourbon.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do I
think
hear
it
somebody
brings
coming
it
up?
Join us.
Come on in, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Thank you.
Oh, and Stove is here
Stove
too.
is here. Welcome.
So just to fill you guys in,
Thanks,
Thank you, sir.
we're smoking
I
this
love you.
cigar and we kept on saying, Josh and I were like, oh, this would go great with Guinness. And we pick up our pairing chart and it says it goes great with Guinness. So we had to try it. Jay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay.
I'm not going to ruin the bourbon though. I'm going to finish this bourbon and then I'll go into the Guinness.
Let's Finish the bourbon, maybe do a pairing,
Yeah,
rating, bourbon
sure.
pairing, and then let's do a Guinness and cigar pairing after that. Rating.
Let's do it.
Cool.
I like it. So Don.
Yeah.
Usually we'll let the guest lead us off on the rating of the Bulleit Bourbon PA series.
Perfect.
This one mic, man. So we rate it from 1 to 10. You can have decimals.
You can have as many decimals as you want.
It can be like today, Josh and I were doing pricing at Trifecta, and we got into like 4 or 5 decimals. Back with oil and gas, when we do all the calculations for ownership, it gets into, I think it's 11 decimals is what we have to take it down to, because it's fucking stupid.
And I bet you at 11 decimals, it's a lot of dollars.
It definitely can be. But
last week we had my best friend Matt, who has a doctorate in physics. Now we have Josh the chemist. I'm really liking having these scientific decimal people on here. Matt almost rated last week's at 3 pi was his rating.
Yeah, what's his rating?
1 and 3 pi, which is almost 10, but he brought it down a little bit.
I think he was surprised that I knew what pi was too. And I didn't say apple. So Josh, you drink some bourbon, I know that. And this is a 104, which I don't know if you get into seeing the proofs or anything else, but a 104 at $60, single barrel, something unique to PA, let's say, what would you give this rating?
I would give this a pretty high rating. This is a great sipping bourbon, and I really love the fine nuances of a kind of lighter, more floral nose, and I think it pairs really well with the cigar. I would definitely give it a 8.967543.
So an 8 point what?
5.6987543.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna point something out too. And not that it's comparable by any stretch of the imagination, but the Terry Bradshaw was a 103.8. Right?
Where
so
did I put Terry right at his passer rating? I think, like 5.7.
At his ass rating, is that what you said?
Might as well be. Yeah. Like 5.7.
We rated him at 5.6 is what it turned out to be. And the pairing with the cigar was horrible as well. And it might have been more the Terry Bradshaw that pulled it down. Oh, by the way, we love Terry Bradshaw. We have that at the bar too.
If you're looking for something different, give it a shot.
Everybody should try it for the nostalgia of it, just for his name. But that's a 103.8 because of his percentage of completed passes.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. It was a completion rating.
Yeah, completion rating
percentage.
And that's what he wanted his proof to be, right?
Yeah.
Well,
the percentage and the proof was double that.
Yeah, his percentage was 90 or 56 point whatever it was. So I'm definitely gonna listen. It's unique, and there's gonna be a lot of people that really, really like this bourbon. That's for sure. And Josh clearly is one of those people, right? It's got this taste that it's special. It's something like you got to really like, and I feel like it's probably on that Bulleit taste. Even though I like the Bulleit rye in my old fashions, all I drink with my old fashions is Bulleit rye. But if they don't have it,
orange label.
Bourbon's orange, rye's green.
The rye's
Yeah.
green. Okay.
Ryes are usually green. It's something traditional that I haven't explored yet.
Interesting.
that is interesting. I didn't really put that all
I haven't
together.
looked it up yet. I will later.
So, but I love Bulleit rye in my old fashions, right? I can't say that I would ever sit down and really drink it on the rocks or straight or neat or whatever, right? But I'll give this, especially comparing it to the other 103.8 with Terry Bradshaw, I'm going to give it like probably a 7.2 is my rating for this because it's unique and I can see how people would like it. It's not really at the top of my list, but it's not bad.
Yeah. I'll start with the price point. All of my favorite, unique, exciting bottles fall somewhere in that $60 price range. it's a wide open playing field. It's somewhere where a lot of people will pick up bottles, so a lot of people go there. A lot of distillers go there. I think what's special about this bourbon is that it's really in balance and it's really drinkable. I could see us finishing the rest of this bottle in the next hour if we wanted to. It's just highly, highly drinkable. It keeps you coming back for more. The proof point is perfect too. Anywhere between 100 and 110 is kind of also a magical spot for some really, really good whiskeys. So I'm going to put this right at 7 flat.
Yeah. Okay.
I really, there's a lot of enjoyable things about it. There's a lot of things that could be more extreme and unique and fun. But I think what's fun about this is that it is really balanced and really right where it needs to be.
I like it, Don.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, with us 3 girls here sitting at the table, I think we're gonna have to take it up to like a 7.4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and definitely take Josh into consideration with his 8.574328.0.
Mm-hmm.
Was that right?
Exactly.
So what I say, a 7.4?
Exactly what I said, yep. Wait, yeah, about
a
a 7.4.
7.482.3.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. I like it. I like it. Now the pairing, I got to tell you, because we kind of picked, we really had the taste going for the pairing, whether with the bourbon, with the Guinness, right? So I think this is going to be a pretty good pairing, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're from a 1 to 10, and 10. Like if we ever hit a 10 on anything, we're done with the fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing that can be that much better than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there is.
I think the beautiful thing about perfection is it's unattainable.
Exactly. There might be something out there.
Who knows?
So
It's always worth striving for.
yeah. So let's talk about this pairing, Josh. What do you think? 104, 1875 Reserve, Romeo and Julieta.
I'm with it. This is
Mm-hmm.
a perfect thing on a cold night, sitting around having a good conversation. And it is a smooth, keeps you coming back for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm with you. We could finish this bottle in the next hour.
I agree with you. There's something about it that's like it's not drying in the mouth, but it's like, oh, it's time for another sip.
I'm gonna give the pairing like a 7.8.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with a 7.8 for the pairing. I think it's a great pairing. I think that it could use a little more flavor to the cigar to pull some of this bourbon out a little better. I think it's not the right cigar, but it is a good cigar for it. I think the cigar is pulling out some of the bourbon is pulling out some of the cigar, right? And it's not as much reversed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. But I can't wait to try it with the Guinness.
Well, yeah, I can appreciate what you're saying there. It there's something about that both of them have a fairly mild and smooth characteristic that makes them match each other really well.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know that I would want to drink this with a cigar that had just a ton of bite. You know, like it's just an easy combo.
They complement each other pretty well. What are you thinking on the pairing?
I'll give it an 8.5.
Yeah. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to say this is maybe the first time on the show, but one of the first times when I'm sitting around drinking a bottle of whiskey. This is exploding into a peppery flavor.
It is.
The pepper is going totally across the palate and moving up to the lips at this point. And it usually kind of fades away, if not just stays relative. But it's and then there's a really bright citrusy character to go along with that. It's getting really funky.
It's kind of funny because it is, you totally feel that pepper
Mm-hmm.
now. After, this is our second one, Josh. You missed out on
Yeah.
the second pour, but
The pepper's hiding in the middle of the bottle. So
it does look a little darker there too. Well, let's finish this bourbon and get on to this Guinness. All right, wait. So the pairing, Josh said an 8.5. I said a 7.8. We're gonna. I really hate giving this an 8, but we're gonna give it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give it an 8. We'll give it an 8.0. Because I think you're right, Josh. I think like if it was somebody that was like, you're clearly enjoying this bourbon a lot, and I'm not appreciating that as much, I'd say. So the pairing for you is definitely better. We'll give it an 8.1.
Mm-hmm.
That's right about in the middle of the two of us. But I can't wait for this Guinness.
We didn't cheers at the top of the show, so let's cheers this last sip.
Salud.
I hear Philly loves Guinness too. So we're gonna have a good Philly story that Josh promised us pre-marriage, pre-children.
He did say that.
Pre-marriage, pre-children. Wow.
Dude, it could be crazy too. It doesn't even matter. This is true bar confessions.
True bar confessions.
I'm gonna have some water and clean my palate a little bit.
Well, not true bar confessions. There was one night. Well, actually, it wasn't really a night. One afternoon, me and a buddy of mine went.
Are we gonna get the name or no?
Sure, Jerry Fisher.
Jerry Fisher,
Whole name.
excavator extraordinaire.
We were at Club Risque and
In Philly.
And we had been there for quite some hours, and I think they were starting to get maybe a little fed up with us being there, and then some other people showed up and joined us, and the table was just like getting congregated with bottles because they are done clearing the bottles.
So day has turned tonight.
It was getting right on towards night, and I think somebody decided like we probably had enough. It was time to go, and we were young and dumb, and so they came over and told us it was time to leave. But there was all these glasses that were sitting there with like half melted ice in them, and there might have been like a bottle of champagne and God knows what else, and so our young obnoxious asses started pouring the drinks together, saying we paid for this, we're not leaving until we finish our drinks. So then somebody called the bouncers over. They said, it's time for you to go. And they wrote us on the title. We the bouncers out the club and told us
The crowd surfed them.
So have you been back since then?
The next week.
For the next weekend.
Short memories down there.
That's right.
Did any of the strippers get kicked out with you? That's the question.
Not that.
Not that night. Okay. Maybe the next weekend though. I have a great gentleman's club story from Bourbon Street, Mardi Gras. The same year, the Saints won the Super Bowl after Katrina, and it was the same weekend as Mardi Gras.
I think it was February 2005.
It was later than that.
What was it?
Mm-hmm. It had to be 2010, I bet. The first year they got back in the dome, they won the Super Bowl, and Mardi Gras was the same weekend. There was 800,000 people on Bourbon Street. It was insane. But we're gonna save this for when my friend Brant Temple comes on the show, because he was there with me.
Mardi Gras gets a little hectic.
Dude, it was crazy. Like, I don't think they've ever seen 800,000 people on Bourbon Street.
Could have been
Like,
the
it
height.
was. I have pictures of it. We'll show him next time. We'll show him when Brant comes on.
Yeah.
Brant, you better be watching. You better like at least shout out right now. All right, let's try this Guinness, man. If you don't know what Guinness tastes like, it's one of the best things known to man.
So I have to say, I cleared my palate with water already, and I'm still getting pepper.
Dude, me too.
Yeah.
For real.
It's hanging
All the
around.
way down too.
Not a bad thing.
And I'm a little not disappointed, saddened that John Sarno is not on the show tonight.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, John. What is he? I think he's 48. He's my age. He's a little older than me. I'm 47. I think he's 48. He might be 49. But whatever, dude. We're just gonna go with 49 because you're not here. And it's still 1 year before 50, so you're lucky. All right, so Guinness is real nice, smooth. It's almost coffee, chocolatey. It's kind of like a coffee chocolate milk going down. And
a little roast, a little coffee roast.
A little bit of
Especially
coffee
if you've
roast,
already
yeah.
got a rye spice on the palate. If I can just plug you real quick.
Go ahead.
I've had a lot of Guinness in a lot of bars, everywhere from Boston to California. And I don't think I've had a crisper, cleaner Guinness than at the bar on Market Street in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
I got to tell you, not tooting my own horn, but I agree. And like you get into some of the places that, you know, they're taps. I don't know if they've just been around a long time or what it is, but like it tastes like Guinness should.
You know, it's such a light, clean beer that it doesn't stand up well to a metallic character that's coming out of your tap or a line that hasn't been cleaned in a little bit longer than it should have. But bar and market, it's the best place to get a Guinness.
So, you know, I'll tell you a couple. I'm not going to tell you the secret behind this because there is actually a little secret behind this Guinness tap. All right. Swear to God. And so the fella that helped me install these taps was like, this is what you have to do for the Guinness and the nitro going into it. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Glycol with Guinness is a no-go.
Right.
It's really a no-go. Like I think you lose a lot of the character because it's so fucking cold.
So cold.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, traditionally this is probably a product that it shouldn't be served as cold as a Coors Light.
No, for sure not. But it still has to be that right temperature.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a real secret. When I was a kid, I used to work for a landscaping company, Stinger Landscaping, based out of Skippack. And the crew and I used to fill thermoses with warm Guinness before we went out to plow snow. And we'd go around.
How
plow
warm?
snow. It was warm, like soup warm. I mean,
Like soup warm? You're heating this shit up on your stove before you go out?
Yeah, for real. We heated it up on the stove, poured it in thermoses, and went out and drank that shit before we shoveled snow.
That is
perfect.
funny.
It's
That's like
amazing.
coffee.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know. I got to tell you something. I'm smoking this cigar with this Guinness right now, and it totally brings out the coffee essence. Like the note of coffee and coffee bean. It's like taking a dark chocolate coffee bean and eating it.
I was going to say
taste that.
The very last thing I get is a dark chocolate or coffee grind character, which you don't always pick out of a Guinness. But it's got to be the cigar.
Yo, and I'm telling you something else. Take that sip, Josh, and smoke your cigar and tell me how different this cigar tastes. And tell me what the first thing that you think of besides canoes that comes to your head.
It is a radically different experience than pairing it with bourbon.
100%.
Yeah. It it accentuates that silkiness that we talked about earlier, and the cigar has that characteristic, and Guinness has that characteristic, and they complement each other very nicely.
I taste the coffee first and foremost, right? You can taste that dark chocolate coffee bean, but the nutty walnut type taste in this cigar now is just bam. It's hitting me hard.
I can taste that.
Yeah. Like that walnut just like comes way out.
And that Guinness is just silky cream with that dark chocolate coffee ground.
Listen, I'm telling you what, with Guinness, this cigar is perfect. Guinness is the pairing for this cigar.
I think I also start to pick up the hints of molasses that they describe.
You know what? I agree. I think it's turning. It's definitely going into that darker, like richer, not quite bitter, but that darker, smoother, silky, creamy taste.
And I mean, even almost like a hint of like a sweetness, not a sweet flavor, but that molasses essence has just a little a smooth, sweet note on the back of the tongue.
I'd say they know what they're talking about here.
Yeah, they probably do.
This is really extraordinary. Actually, this pairing is legit. I got to tell you,
you're gonna have to have one of these in the morning with black coffee, like it says in this guide. You're gonna have to update us on what that tastes like, because with all the coffee coming out of the Guinness, it has to be right.
I don't know if there's ever an update to this show. There's got to be millions of different pairings. But I hear what you're saying, and I only bought 2 cigars because that's all I buy for the show. But Guinness.
Don't ask me to rate Guinness.
I already did.
We won't have a show next week. So it's not often that we have someone on here who wants to be a nerd and talk about chemistry with me. But Guinness it's poured on nitrogen when traditional draft beer is served on CO2. And nitrogen binds as N2. And it's a much, much smaller molecule than CO2 is. So that's why the bubbles in your Guinness are really, really small. That's why the head is very persistent. And it doesn't go away like it does in a lager or something. And that is also why you get this creaminess all the way through, because it's persistent. Those smaller bubbles pack in tighter. And then as they interact with the tongue is kind of where I get lost. But I'd love your input here.
No, I mean, I think that sums it up accurately. It's an interesting thing how different gases perform in liquids. It's a little bit tangential, but there's somebody I've been talking to recently who has these machines for diffusing nanobubbles into liquids. And you can put any gas you want into any liquid. And it lets you pack a lot more gas into a liquid than you can get.
Amber would appreciate the helium into her beer.
I was just going to tell a helium story after you done telling me that.
It's pretty wild. And it let like the weight of the liquid becomes massive from the addition of the gas.
That's interesting.
And it holds it for a long time. And it has all these really, really wild applications. Like it has agricultural applications, it has food applications. I mean, it's just this really wild technology. And I'd be very curious what it does to infuse
to beer.
Yeah,
we can totally try that out, Josh.
I mean, this
we should plan this the next trip you have up here.
So I think we have one of those inbound for us to play with.
Nice.
We just gotta find gas to hook it up to. Liquids to put it into.
I think beer is the perfect playground.
I agree. So, we could work something out downstairs, I'm sure. We might not be able to sell it right away, but
well, we could try
it.
Yeah.
Wait, that would kind of be like the gummy shots, right? Gummy bear shots?
Yeah, I mean, you could do so many things. If you could
Oh, wait a second.
If you could turn beer into a foam and maybe top a cocktail with it or serve these foamy shots. Like it could be a whole cultural shift.
So, Josh, one of the things about like nanotechnology and chemistry, right? And Don. So you could take, molecules that are this big and cut them down 10,000 times smaller, and it has the that much more efficacy and everything else, right? So if you take a helium molecule and like break it down that much more, is the longevity of your high voice going to be extended? Or is it going to be shortened, maybe?
Well, so I think
Is that even a thing, do you think? Can we mix helium with beer? I guess is the question.
So you might be able to mix helium with beer, but I don't think it's going to change your voice. Because when you're inhaling pure gas. Or not a pure gas, but a relatively pure gas. And you're not going to, like, the size of the bubbles that are being infused into a liquid are smaller, but they still are composed of tens of thousands of molecules of that gas. So it's big agglomerations of those things that you're trying to make smaller inside of another substance. But if you're just using it to change your voice, you're really just inhaling that one substance, and it's kind of one big bubble that you're
It's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah, and that's into the lungs, and when you drink a beer, it's in the esophagus.
So we'll have to, like, instead of smelling the bourbon, we'll be smelling the beers. Like,
So Stone Brewing Company of San Diego probably put out the greatest beer April Fools of all time. April Fools, maybe 15 years ago, they said, we're putting out a beer carbonated on helium. And you see the owner and everybody gets around and they start drinking this beer, and they're like, all right, yeah, it's going to have these characteristics and everything. And they drink it, and then their voice gets higher. And then they start talking about the beer with these really high, squeaky Mickey Mouse voices and everything. And
so it did have that effect when they drank it.
April Fools.
Oh,
Fooled a million people.
How in the world is that possible?
Fooled a million people.
Don.
And it was such a well done video.
you son of a bitch. April 1st is coming up. We could have done that on the show.
It was awesome.
Wow.
So that spurred all these articles and people looking into it and everybody reading about it. And the theory was that helium bubble would be so small, it would immediately come out of solution. But now when I think about N2 being smaller than CO2, I think it'd be in solution longer. And like we said, the helium has to go into your lungs for that high voice to happen. But it was the video production was so well done. Everybody was fooled, and there's people to this day who think it's possible, and then that will happen. It's so funny.
What did they call that? Did they call it helium? Isn't there a beer that's called
I gotta
helium?
look it up.
To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure there is. Something called helium. I think there's a beer called helium. So listen, I'm down almost to the nub here, I'd say. And the cigar, I've been smoking it. I didn't let it go out or anything. It's a good leaf. It's a good roll. It's been in here in my humidor for about 3 weeks now. I keep the humidity right. It's between 68 and 72 all the time. And it's a nice cigar. Like, it's still tasting pretty good. Even down to the nub, it's not like overwhelmingly, bitter or anything like some of the nubs get to be.
Mm-hmm.
And with this Guinness, it's like, damn.
Yeah, they weren't wrong about the Guinness pairing.
They were not wrong about the Guinness pairing.
No.
Listen, I'm going to give the Guinness pairing on this an 8.9. I think they got it.
I was going to give it a 9, so we're in lockstep.
8.915.
There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. Y'all should try this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else. Guinness out of a can into a glass, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And again, temperature plays a big role. Like, I'm curious with Josh. I might go home and warm up some Guinness tonight to try it out. But like, I can see Guinness having a real good taste when it's warmer like that.
Mm-hmm.
Big John, whose birthday is today, 49. He always lets his Guinness sit out a little bit, I think. He might be on there contradicting me right now, but like, I see it, like, he lets his Guinness sit around sometimes.
Guinness is not something that I can really drink as it gets into the 40s, like high 40s. Cellar temperature is kind of what they call that, like what your basement would be.
Yeah.
But I just can't do it.
We don't get it that high here,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's served at the perfect temperature, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect pour.
No,
But
this is pretty good.
But when you get it really, really soup temperature when it's cold outside, I feel like this is an old Irish trick that I've not heard of yet.
I'm telling you, like, it is a fantastic thing for that moment. I 10 out of 10 recommend warm Guinness pairing with snow shoveling.
What kind of snow shovel would it be? Ergonomically correct?
Absolutely, but it just makes the whole experience go smooth and easy.
Every single flavor note you can pull out of Guinness, I like when it's warm. I like Guinness stew. I like warm food products made with Guinness. I feel like you're onto something there for sure.
So we have a Guinness cheese dip that we serve with our pretzel bites downstairs.
That's awesome.
And when you pull that Guinness out, when you cook it off and then put it into some, I'm not going to tell that secret either, but that Guinness cheese dip with the pretzel bites is a top seller and people love it. And it just gives this taste to that whiz. I mean, you're going to use a nice creamy cheese whiz with it, and it's like fucking amazing. Knocks your socks off.
Yeah, it's going to pick up earthy character. It's going to pick up maybe a little vanilla and some coffee, and it's just perfect pairing.
It is. It's pretty good stuff. I like it. You know what else I think would go good with a Guinness? My go-to cigar every day. Smoke it. Tobacco Special by Drew Estate. I like the Corona Dolce. The Dolce version. It's a little sweeter than the Negro, but the Negro is pretty good too. Actually, Negro would probably go really good with Guinness.
I was just going to say Negro is probably better with this beer.
I think you're probably right, because the Dolce gets like really, really sweet sometimes. What did we pair the Dolce with? We didn't pair the Negro yet.
Did you smoke the Dolce with Buffalo Trace over Christmas?
I did. It was separate? Buffalo Trace. You're right. Yeah. And that was pretty good. Yeah.
Couldn't smell it, so it didn't change my palate. But the Buffalo Trace is great.
So we have a 7.4823 for the Bulleit Barrel single barrel, and an 8.1 for the Romeo and Julieta 1875 Reserve paired with the Bulleit Barrel single barrel PA style, and an 8.95 for the Guinness pairing with it, which is just a great pairing. I think Romeo and Julieta, you've nailed it with that. I think Guinness should be pushing cigars with this a little more than what they do.
It's not their thing.
It's not their thing. You're right. That's like, are they into that over in Ireland?
I've never been there. Hard to say, but from Guinness's Instagram, that's not what they push.
Maybe they should try it. There's not a lot of people like us, though. I don't think
we might be few and far between.
Ahead of the game, perhaps.
Possibly. Maybe
So,
nerds,
Josh, just out of curiosity, so it's no like secret that Trifecta started in the cannabis arena, treating cannabis plants and grapes and every fruit there is, fruit-bearing plant, whether it's florals or fruits that you actually eat, for anything from powdery mildew in certain molds to pests, right? But the question I have for Josh right now, and Josh has been to a lot of farms with my brother and has smoked quite a bit of cannabis. What cannabis strain would you say would go good with this cigar?
With this cigar?
Yeah. Wait, is that a thing?
With a
I'm
Nicaragua
sorry.
wrapper?
I didn't
maybe?
mean that.
Or do you mean
I didn't
with the
mean
bourbon?
that. I meant with the bourbon.
Okay,
I meant with the Bulleit Barrel single barrel PA. And listen, we could go down to the farm if you want to.
Well, there's this one particular acre.
Josh could do that.
Yeah, I know he could. I believe it.
Man, I think something probably in the Kush arena would
Mhm.
be a good pairing with that bottle right there. Something that's maybe something that's got a little bit of a hybrid indica sativa thing going on with it, so you get like that relaxation, but that mental stimulation at the same time.
I could see a good sativa going down with this,
Yeah,
or a hybrid. I mean,
I think a hybrid. would be
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
We were out in San Francisco one time, and I think it was the 5 of us: Melinda, Wiggle, me, Amber, and you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we rented a
Emerald Cup,
house, huh?
When we were there for the Emerald Cup.
It was the Emerald Cup, and we rented that house in Napa Valley.
That house was like some famous gardener or like.
No, was it that?
Yeah, that was that house.
No, that was the house we rented in where was Santa Rosa? Was that it?
Yeah, that was in Santa Rosa, but we didn't. I don't think we stayed in a house.
No,
in San
the house
Francisco.
that had the pool.
I wasn't there for that. That was the next year.
Oh wait, you were there for that one. You weren't there for the one with the pool?
I don't think so.
Did we run out of battery there, Don?
We've been having so much fun.
How long have we been on here? That's crazy.
We've been on for an hour 16 and a half.
I apologize.
So earlier today, Amber was like, you got up the thing. I was like, yeah, we'll be up there for about an hour and come down. She goes, you guys are up there for hours. I was like, no, we're not up there for hours. She's like, every single time you were up there for hours. And I was like, well, I guess time flies when a half a bottle of whiskey disappears.
Yeah, but we had like technical difficulties back then.
Yeah.
And clearly we are again.
We got to get a charging cord here. It's too funny.
All right, we're back up.
Yep.
So the Emerald Cup there when we were in Santa Rosa. Yeah, what was that guy? He was some kind of artist or something, wasn't he?
I think he was like a landscape architect or something like that, but he was fairly famous, and the property was an amazing property.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was like it had to be like 1800s property, I would say. Late 1800s. But we weren't allowed to go in the backyard or anything, remember?
Yeah.
But we still did. I mean, we ventured out, like,
Yep.
whatever. But that's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one with the pool. I could have swore you were out there too. We were in like Napa Valley. We stayed in Napa when we were out there for that.
Yeah, I don't think I was there.
Wow. So anyway, we had a real good hybrid there, and I think that would go good.
Mm.
Is the whole point of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably not the Emerald Cup trip, because that one, they all just started to run together. Remember we were the first year we went up there, they had decided they were going to have open consumption tents, which we wound up being inside of one. And I remember thinking before we went there, this is not going to be anything like cigars or cigarettes or being in a smoke-filled bar. Like 3 days of this, no big deal. It's just cannabis smoke. I was very wrong.
Yeah.
Being in an enclosed space with cannabis smoke is just as bad. I think it got hot and heavy in there quick.
Is that the year that it flooded? That the Emerald Club flooded?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the year that it flooded.
Oh,
Yeah.
because then we got the next year. We didn't have to pay for the booth, right? Because we were flooded out the first year, or we paid like half the price or something. So you didn't go the second year?
The second year I didn't go.
Wow.
Yep.
That was good stuff.
That was a crazy experience.
It was a crazy experience.
I went outside to try and get some fresh air at one point because the tent was so heavy with smoke. And I came upon a gentleman that was surrounded by a group of people, and I was kind of curious what he was up to. So I walked up there, and he had this device that was like a DeWalt leaf blower that he had retrofitted with this, like, had like a pound of weed in the damn thing. And it was just blowing smoke at everybody I was trying to walk past.
That was crazy.
That was
It was
crazy.
pretty insane.
I've seen videos of that at like a concert, like that leaf blower to hotbox everybody out. That's insane.
I think that's what they called it, the hot box.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Something like
thick,
that.
Too.
Yeah.
So thick. Like
Crazy.
I was trying to film it, and so I got my phone out and I'm walking up
Not for
filming it.
long.
And then, yeah, I mean, he just kind of turned right on me, and I started coughing, staggered away. Like that was. I was trying to get away from it. I came out here for some fresh air. Who was I kidding?
That was pretty wild.
That was pretty wild.
Pretty cool though. It's a good time.
Mhm.
It's a hell of an experience.
Yeah. So I could definitely see this bourbon going with something down that line too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The problem is you get so fucked up.
Yeah. Cannabis and alcohol seem to have an exponential effect on each other a little bit sometimes.
sure.
That's what the notebook's for.
That's right.
Remember what happened.
So we don't forget.
That's right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
Guinness with the cigar is a home run.
No doubt.
For sure. For sure. I like it. Come to the bar and market. Drink some of this Bulleit.
Get you a Guinness.
Get you a Guinness.
I have one of the crispest Guinness you've had outside of St. James Gate.
That's awesome, Don.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, I mean, true story too. For sure. Oh, so we have to send a little bit, 2 ounces in our infinity
Yeah,
bottle?
2 ounces in infinity. It's filling up nice. Like, it's tough to estimate, but I think there's probably there's over 10 ounces in there. How many shows have we had times 2 ounces? There's probably closer to 14 or 16 ounces in there. So we're getting closer to getting to try this. So the infinity bottle for Josh, 2 ounces of everything we drink on the show
Yeah.
goes into that bottle. And the only rule is, there's 2 rules. First rule, don't ever let it go dry,
Okay.
because then everything previously will be gone.
Yeah.
Second rule, do whatever the hell you want.
It's like the infinity soup they make in China. It's like 3,000 years.
I think I'll
It's
pass.
Hopefully there's ethanol in there. Keep everything clean.
Get that bacteria out of that. Josh is known to add a little IPA to everything. No, but I mean, this bottle last week, it got a little darker, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
It was light.
Like the 12-year in there.
Yeah, the 12-year darkened that up, something fierce.
Mhm.
It's still, I mean, it's almost like the 12 years sitting on top.
Mhm.
That's going to be a special blend.
Someday.
Yeah, I'll have to pull 2 ounces of each of those Hardin's Creeks from our inaugural episode.
Yeah.
Throw them in there because one of them's 184 months old, 15 years or so.
Yeah, we didn't put that in here.
Yeah, no.
This started after that, just after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn.
Good catch.
That'll darken her up.
Yeah, well, give it a little more taste,
Yeah.
a little more bite.
For sure.
All right, cool. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Will we?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. For sure. Who's coming on next week?
Cheers, boys. I mean, I don't know.
Salute.
So,
Good night.
Great night.
We need a remote too
Mm-hmm.
to bring us in and take us out. See y'all next week.